Yeah, hello and a warm welcome to Excel helpers for generating randomized Moodle questions. Now we talk about a cloze question generator. Yeah, hello, my name is Joe Fensterle. I'm professor at the Rhein-Waal University in Kleve for biotechnology, making Moodle exams, and a very important type of questions using in these quizzes and exams is a cloze type, and this is the video for an Excel sheet helping you to generate these cloze questions. If this is the first video, I suggest you maybe to watch first the video about in general Moodle questions and as an introduction. Otherwise, stay here and enjoy. So maybe before starting with going into more in detail, I want to show you how such a cloze question can look like. And that is way more than just a text where you enter some things in between, which is the typical cloze type of question. So this can be a cloze question, and you see you can generate with this cloze question type really complex questions. This is an example of a question in an applied microbiology exam, which is about metabolism, obviously. Don't worry, you don't need to understand that. I will talk about cloze questions. I just want to show you what you can do. So in these questions, you have, for example, a picture at the beginning, and then you have different things to do. You have to assign molecules, whatever you assign the names of whatsoever. Then you have also a table appearing, and please assign the structure formulas of the molecules, and so on and so on. And you can also introduce a free text entry, as you see here. So this is how a cloze question can look like. So you can put all types into a cloze question. So this is a very powerful way of generating very flexible Moodle questions. Yeah, and now let's have a quick look on how you can generate these questions with an Excel with these Excel sheets. So this is the Excel sheet. This is where you type in the question. We will talk about that in more detail later. I just want to demonstrate how that works in principle. So here you bring in everything. Here you have your pictures and so on. So let's export. So let's generate 6 questions, and I say export Moodle. And now let's go to Moodle. Here we are. I say import. I say Moodle-XML. I'm looking for my file. Here it is. I drag and drop it. Import. Here I have my 6 new questions which have been generated. And this is how it looks like. We have our duck, we have our text, we have a table, and this is what I have. Okay, so this is in very brief how this looks like. We will go to it step by step in order that you know how at the end what we're doing and how it looks like. Again, I would recommend strongly to first watch the video on the general introduction and maybe the assign video in order to have an idea, because the cloze questions are certainly a bit more complex. Maybe before we start, I have already shown that in the introduction. However, nevertheless, I want to come back once to show you again how a cloze question in Moodle looks like, because these are questions which are often not used. So therefore, let's have a look in Moodle how a cloze question looks like. Okay, so just we close that preview. And we create a new question, and we select an embedded answer cloze type of question add. So test question, and you see that in a cloze question you have to type in the question. So you have a free field to type it in. The structure of the cloze question is like this. So you have your text, and within the text you embed the cloze the question itself. And it could be, typically, if it's an MCS type, so this generates these fields where you can have different selections. So you have always the structure, these braces, points, double point, type, double point, equal correct response, tilde, wrong response. And if you want, hashtag feedback. So this is how these questions are embedded, and there are different types. A type is this MCS. This generates this thing which is flipped out. Another type is this short answer, which generates a field where you can type in, freely type in text. And you can also, for example, generate numerical fields NM. And this then is inserted, the text itself is inserted, and this then generates this type of response. Again, this has been also shown in the introduction. Okay, so now let's dive into the question. The link to the Excel sheets you can find below. So we're in the tab where we have the questions, where we generate the questions. This question 2 is just a backup. And as always, we have an intro text, and as always, we have then the fields where we put in the text. So the intro text is always the same. You can please complete the following text with respect to the DAX. Also here, it's wise to have some idea of HTML elements. However, this is not absolutely mandatory. In cloze text, you might have images, but you not necessarily have images. So these are embedded like this. How you embed random images, this has been shown in the video Assign and has been explained there. Okay, so this is your intro text, and then of course comes the cloze text. Okay, so let's start with a sentence which is just appearing as text. So for example, let's talk about the fascinating species of ducks. And this should be just text. So this is, so therefore in the type, we put in text. So this is because we don't want to have a question here. So now we start with the question. So now we should have then the real cloze type. So cloze is a text. So ducks belong to the family of birds, of course. And this we want to insert here. So what we do if we want to insert here, this is a XXX. And in the XXX then the response is added. So birds is the correct one, and ducks are not the smallest birds on earth. So are not is the correct answer, and this will be inserted here. If we leave the type open, by default this MCS will be used. This is what this generates, this typical thing where you click on the error and then you can choose it. Okay, so this is, I would say, the typical cloze text, how it looks like. And of course, you need to have additional choices, otherwise it will not work. So let's put here this as additional choices. Okay, so just let's put some more text. And you see that it goes further with their, they can walk, so not surprisingly, they inhabit lakes, they inhabit rivers, everybody loves them, and so on. So you see that we have generated now our text with different options. Always the XXX is replaced with the text. And maybe we will stop then. When will you house a duck? Because this looks convincing. Also, this is considered as a text. Now, with respect to the category, this is the same as always. 0 is a category which is always taken. So this text we always need. Now, this ducks belong to the family of something, and ducks are the smallest bird on earth. We want to choose, so we want to draw that later on. This we always want to have. This is then the next one where we want to choose. This we always want to have. Again, the next one where we want to choose. And the duck beak is something we also want to choose. And you see in this case the duck beak is the last sentence. we have this random matrix integrated. So the response, because this refers to the picture, again, it's more in detail explained in the video assign question types. So we come from this random matrix, and then we have this in the question, we put the correct is 1 because the duck beak is directed as 1, and this is then replaced depending on how the picture is assigned with this, and the other are added like this. So this is then being replaced. So this is the same as always. So let's have a look on how this looks like. So we generate an output and we randomize now, of course. So we can now tell that 0 is always included again, but we can draw now here each time. And we say draw 1 here, draw 1 here, draw 1 here. So we go to generate output. 4 doesn't exist, so this is 0 or empty. And I generate 1 question. I have 3 substitute values. So here we go. Question is generated. And let's go to Moodle and see how this looks like. So we first delete the old questions. We can generate them on a mouse click, so this doesn't hurt. And we import the new one. We have 1 question generated. Of course, we can randomize, but we're too lazy to delete everything. I want to show you how that looks like. And this is it. And you see that all of these have these choose things now. This is the default value. And you see this is a real cloze text. So this is kind of the definition of a cloze question. Okay, so let's go back to the sheet. So of course you can also add different types of questions. So for example, you can also include a short answer text. So we have here text, a new paragraph. So again, this little HTML helps. So I make a new paragraph. I put that in bold and say, please answer the following question. Please tell me what you love about ducks. And the question will be inserted here. And in this case, it will be a short answer. And I say everything is, of course, correct. And if you type in nothing, then you don't get points. This will not come as a surprise to you. This is one possibility. And another possibility you have here is that you can also insert tables. At the end, with this question, you can also do the same as you have in an assign question. An assign question, remember, is a table where you always have element 1, and then you assign it, and you can do exactly the same in the cloze question. However, it's a bit more an effort, so if you just have an assign, I would recommend you use this assign stuff, but you can do exactly the same here and integrate that in another question text. And now let's look how this works. So first, I forgot to put the category here. So if you insert a table, you have to tell the software table start and table end. And in between, a table is generated. Here, you put then the number of columns. In this case, these are 4. And then you would start with a text, adding the headers. So this is description, assignment, description, assignment. That's the reason why I said if you just want to have a table, it's easier to do that in the assign question. But again, you can do it here. And then we have multiple, in this case, it's multiple choice because we want to have the order always in the same way. So we always start then with these elements. These are put in again. This is an assign question. So we could, of course, also make it like this, that it's beak, tilde, this is a separator, feet, and hair. Okay, it's the other way around. So this is then the 1, 2, 3, 4 or so. So this is then being substituted. So at the end, this is what's written here, but it will be substituted then the randomized matrix. So this is duck beak, duck hair, duck hands, and red part of the duck. And this is then the last one. And here we assign, as you see, more points. You can also, if you say this gives more points, you can do it like this, that you add the points. If you have it like this, just the type or nothing, then it's always 1 point. If you put in the points like this, it's 3 double point type, then these points are taken over. So this increases the flexibility. Again, I would at the beginning not take all functionalities. So these questions evolved in a while. So table and so on, of course, things are more complex. Try the simple version, but I explain the complete version here, that you know what features you can add in these questions. Okay. Table end. Now again, of course, we need to also here we can draw. Obviously, this should be always there. Please assign the element. Of course, table start and table end has to be always there. You need to mark that with a 0. You have always needs the description. And this you can draw. You can say, okay, here I want to draw one of these. Or I can also say I want to have the students always to assign the red part of the duck, but 2 of these are always drawn. So to achieve that, I go to my general output and say 2, and then 2 of them will be drawn. Now my problem here is that you see that I have my text, and then I will have drawn 2 of these, and then comes the last one. And you remember in the assign elements question, where this table is generated, this also randomizes the elements within the table. So this is being randomized. And this can be also done here. If you want to do that, what you do is, let's say this should be at the end always. So I can say here 0 rand start. I have to put the same here, rand start, and here rand end, rand end. So this goes even beyond the capacities of the assign question, because this then just will randomize me these answers here, but this red part of the duck will always be at the end. Okay, now I can do this randomization also here. So if I have, for example, a text where I have 7 possibilities where I draw 3 out of them, I can do also the randomization for these elements. So this is not restricted to tables. Of course, you need to take care of it. You cannot randomize before or afterwards. You shouldn't randomize here for the description, because that will kill, of course, your table. So, and this is not checked, of course, that you have to take care, and you have to see whether your table is built in the correct manner. Okay, so if we look at this, now let's see. Let's generate now 4. Export Moodle. And again, back to Moodle. So again, we import the newly generated. We have generated 4 new questions, and this is how it looks. Of course, the picture. We have our text, then we have our short answer. So again, this is this MCS style. S means that it's shuffled within. We have our text to put in, everything, yeah. And you see that here in the table element, I put the 2 and the 1 in order that you see that the order is also randomized. So you see that duck hair is drawn, duck hair is 2, duck beak is 1. And you see that here also the order is always kept, because we have now this MC here, in contrast to here where we have the randomization, where this is always different. And red part of the duck, is the beak. 1. Okay, so of course we have to respond also to the others, but you see how this is being generated, and then you can put all elements what you want inside. So this is it for this cloze question type. You can also put numerical questions and so on. So the cool thing about this is that you have the full flexibility, and the cool thing about this Excel sheet is that in addition, you can include randomization, and you can, on a mouse click, generate a couple of different questions. This is very helpful. Of course, if you generate a more complex question and so on, also with this, with the help of the Excel sheet, this will take some minutes. However, at the end, on the mouse click, you generate then 10, 15 questions. You can easily modify it and so on. So this helps quite a lot. So yeah, that's about the cloze questions. So have fun using them, and goodbye.